next dream. I have been wanting to talk to you about this dream since I knew that this was one of your specialties. When I was a young child, somewhere between 3 and 5, I think, I had a real nightmare. It scared me so much, I woke up terrified afterwards. And I was not a child that had nightmares ever, nor was I afraid of the dark. Anyway, what I can remember of the dream is still pretty clear to this day. It had to do with me being inside a volcano, with lava running down the walls and then boiling far, far below. My body seemed to be laying out on the ground with my head hanging over the side of a precipice. What made me wake up absolutely terrified was the sensation of my head being cut off, and then me feeling my head rolling down the precipice far below, falling away for what seemed like forever, and then I woke up. I only think I had that dream once, but somehow terrified I was, and I can still remember the details of this dream, something I'd never been able to do. Well, if you had this dream when you were a small child, 3 to 5, and you remembered this to this day, then that is significant, and it means you haven't really dealt with the issue, and that's why it's staying with you. Because 3 to 5 may be when you had a trauma that began or was embedded. We know that when you dream about a volcano, it's an explosive emotional issue that's coming out. When a volcano, you suppress energy, suppress, and then finally it explodes and comes out and destroys everything around it. So maybe you have a volcano personality. Maybe you were told as a little child to stuff it and not let things out until finally it explodes out. And what happens is you may lose your sense of self-identity when that happens, and that's why you had your head cut off and rolling down, because it means I lose my identity, I go to low self-worth because I exploded out emotionally. So I would say do green spiral staircase on the 3 to 5 year old time period and see what the trauma was that you've been suppressing all along, and that will give you a clue to your identity issue and what you've been holding in emotionally. Because it could very well be that the trauma that occurred then made you feel like you didn't know who you were anymore. You didn't have a sense of self anymore. So there may have been a lot of control issues going on for you. So take a look at that and see what comes up for you. While dreaming, I know that I'm in a certain real-life location, for example, my hometown. But in the dreams, these locations don't look like they should at all. They're more like fantasy locations with beautiful settings. Also, I noticed that I'm more and more conscious in my dreams. Now, what I wonder about is, do I simply communicate with my subconscious in my dreams? Answer is yes. Does my subconscious replace the locations? And do I feel more conscious because I am more connected to my subconscious? And the answer is yes to both of those questions. However, you may be in the astral or hyperspace levels, or you could even be in your programming virtual world. So it all depends on the circumstances and symbols in the dreams. And then the other question here is, are the dreams more like another part of life taking place elsewhere? Well, yes, sometimes it can be a bleed through from an alternate reality or even another simultaneous existence. Again, all of these things are possible, but in order to know what each one specifically is, you have to look at the symbols, the actions, the colors, all of that would give you an idea or clue as to what specifically the dream is about. Here's another interesting question. This is a programming dream, and you'll see why. In a recent dream, I was in a plush office in a New York tower block, sitting at a desk with Barry Obama. He was saying hurtful things to me, so I decided to project a violet bubble over him quite intensely. He then appeared to melt like the android in the film Alien. As this happened, suddenly Hillary Clinton ran at me screaming with a silver dagger, that probably was a real life thing, and which I turned it back on her. Then I felt a massive earthquake, so I begin. So I left the tower block and went to a tube station, that's a subway for Americans, and a kiosk. Then New York was ripped apart by earthquake. Okay, tower block would be programming construct. Barack Obama would be a programming icon. So this person may have some political programming in them where New York City and Barack Obama are constructs and icons. So some deprogramming work that has to be done here. You might be doing deprogramming techniques that are undermining the alter group. That's why there was the earthquake, because maybe you were doing deprogramming on yourself, and so the dream is showing you that your construct is being taken apart. That could be a good thing. But Hillary Clinton represents a guardian altar that's trying to stop this, but too late. So I would brown X out the tower block, I would brown X out the melting android, brown X the silver dagger, and then pull in any of the people because they're still part of your soul personality. So a very interesting dream that one was, and it's a programming dream. Here's another one. I'm on a frozen lake trying to ice skate, but the ice is thawing and watery. A strong wind comes and the ice disappears completely. A girl comes along and tells me there's a place where there is still good quality ice on a skating rink. She takes me by the hand and we skate elegantly as a couple dancing across the ice. An ice hockey player comes along and gives us a shove with his hockey stick. The balance is lost and the dance is over. After coming off the ice, I blow dry my hair. I'm looking in the mirror and see a wound on my forehead. All right. Well, very symbolic. You're literally skating on ice. You're walking on thin ice here. So that means you are avoiding a specific emotional issue which you have blocked, but it's coming through, and even though you've been trying to suppress it, and you needed a push. You're trying to dance through it, maybe make light of it, but you needed a push to get to the core of the issue here. So I would say do your T-bar and grounding exercise. You're not balanced, so because you're losing your balance in the dream. Do the child within, because it's something that you've suppressed and blocked for a long time that's coming up. So you got some work to do here, but very, very blatant symbology here, very interesting. Another dream here. A group of people is wading through a broad river. They're coming to this side. Are they tourists? Question mark. I'm driving alongside the riverbank on a kind of road that the French call La Corniche. Someone's trying to overtake me. Well, the Corniche, those of you who've been on, it's kind of a winding, narrow road along the coast of southern France. It can be quite scary to drive on it. So, it's windy and twisty. That's saying that the flow of life that you're taking is sudden and dangerous turns for you in that path of life that you're taking. And you feel like you're in competition to succeed. Others are trying to overtake you. What I would suggest is go back into the imagery of this dream. See yourself on that Corniche road, yes? Now, straighten the road mentally. Keep the road straight. Now, this is a visualization that you're going to be doing, so you can make anything happen in the visualization. And make yourself straight and easy on the road, no one overtaking you, and you get to your destination and put that in brown. That should help to bring up the issues that you really need to look at. Next thing. These are very brief ones, by the way, coming. I have to get on a train with my parents, but when the train arrives, it consists of only one wagon or car, which is going at breakneck speed and about to derail. Okay, this is about a single set of DNA instructions that is artificially opened, and unfortunately, the instructions are coming too fast because of an ELF trigger. So I would recommend doing a DNA opening exercise. I would say that whatever programming is involved is inherited because you're with your parents and it's a train track. This may be instructions that are no longer valid and are maybe creating issues in the current life by being opened. So do your DNA exercise and your deprogramming, and see what happens with that. Next dream. I'm visiting my former college friend in his house. He's going up a stairway and I want to follow him, but a large object with an extension cord, which is a TV, comes sailing down the stairs dangerously close to me and crashes through the window. This makes me angry with my friend. I start to move up the stairs, but then see the stairs are entirely made of glass plates, which crumble under my feet. The shards of glass hurt my feet. Very, very symbolic here as well. So I'm going to ask you, who sent this dream in, what does that friend represent to you? What is his personality like? What's going on with that friend? Major hurtful issues there that you do not remove but accept. That's where you're stepping on the glass and going up the stairs. You keep going forward even though your mind is saying, hey, this is a very unfriendly situation. This friend, this relationship creates victimization mentality for you. So look at this issue here and see, of course, where within yourself you're not being a friend to your own self and maybe hurting yourself in many ways. You're walking on glass, literally, because there's something in life that you should be doing and you're not, and you're just tiptoeing around it. Next question. Oh, I keep calling them questions, but they're dreams. Me and my friend, my college friend, are upstairs waiting. A short, aggressive, and very muscular man comes out of a door and starts presenting us with a series of official-looking bills, complete with stamps, which he spreads out on the floor. I point out a few spelling mistakes in the bills so we won't have to pay them. Now, and I'm not sure if this is the same person or not, but there's a friendship that's very costly to you. It overpowers you, and it's reflecting all your own faults. So you need to do release work on yourself because you're attracting some pretty harsh friends for yourself, and friends who maybe cause you to feel low self-worth or not valuable, or maybe that you feel you can't repay whatever these people are doing. So take a look at that in your life. And I must be from the same person because the other dream is, I'm waiting with a friend in a living room with an open kitchen. A girl is busy cooking there. She doesn't seem to notice us. Is she the bill collector's wife? The view from the window is a large billboard. Well, this is all related because there's a physical issue or event that is cooking, so to speak, in your life, and you can see it clearly, and it's about self-worth because the person cooking seems to be a bill collector's wife. So there's something about value, self-worth, something brewing, cooking, that you're going to have to pay for in an emotional or mental way. And there's the billboard saying, here's the issue, and you're not paying it. So whatever this is, it's right in front of you. You can see it, but you're not doing anything about it. So you need to be proactive here. Now, this is the last dream for this segment here, but it's an interesting dream. Here's my reptilian dream from just this morning, the person writes. I think I was in my grandmother's home in which I partially grew up. It seemed to be with some other people, and we knew something was coming. I was looking through one room into the next, and the farther room had 3 or 4 steps going down to it. Then a tall, 7-foot-plus being walked out into the downstairs room, and I said to everyone, "The reptilians are here." And I was scared. I think it looked like a blonde reptilian for only an instant as my vision had blurred, and then it was a tall Caucasian man. I knew he was in disguise. The rest is fuzzy, but there was some interaction like he was teaching me something or trying to convince me of something, and all the while he looked at me with predatory look in his eyes. I remember him stroking his long hair as he spoke, which had turned dark by the end of the dream. I woke up knowing something had changed. Well, this dream is about reptilian genetics that have opened up. These are old ones because you're dreaming about your grandmother's home. So once again, it's inherited genetics of an older type that are now opening up, and they're reptilian in nature. It is ancient and involves hidden, dark, sexual ritual sacrifice. That's the predatory eyes. You mask your feelings, though, and memories with more pleasant images, because you tend to put, maybe you have the kind of personality where if something isn't so nice, you kind of mask it in your mind, or you make light of it, or change it to make it seem not so unpleasant. But you know what is underneath. It is involving power and control. And I would say to you, person who sent this in, to read and do the deprogramming exercises from True Reality of Sexuality book and the 13Q book, because all of this involves that type of subject matter that is obviously coming to the forefront with you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this segment podcast on the dreams. That's all that I have for today, and I will again let you know when and where to send in your dreams when we do the next segments on dreams. Please let me know when these segments on the Dream Podcast are posted, what you feel about them, what you'd like to hear and see in the future related to dreams, and I'll be happy to do that for you. So keep a journal, have pleasant dreams, and until next time, this is Stewart A. Swerdlow for Expansions.com.